to say that this is a panel of all generations and all walks of life. And so I'm excited that you'll have the opportunity to have some of your questions answered. So let me pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to listen to the wisdom of these women. Thank you for the opportunity to learn from them what it means to walk with women of differing generations and differing life backgrounds, where we seemingly have nothing in common, and yet we have the most important thing in common. And that is the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ has transformed our lives, that we might stir one another up to love and good deeds. In Jesus' name, amen.
There's your stuff. Well, thanks, ladies, for coming. My name is Rose Booth. If you have not met me, I would love to meet you. And this is Beth Blackwell. We co-lead the women's ministry with Jaylyn, and we're very excited today to co-moderate this panel of wonderful ladies that we'll introduce here shortly. I do want to start by giving a disclaimer that we are not experts. So we are going to do our best to answer the questions in a way that hopefully will help you. But I think we can all agree that there's really no one that is the expert on being a friend other than Jesus Christ. For those of you that would like, there are pens on the table. You can take notes. As well as use the papers that we've left there for you to do notes. But I would like to thank Craig, Shuff, and Baz that's in our sound booth today. We're going to be recording this panel, so it'll be available for you later. So that way, if you miss something and you want to rewatch it or share it with a friend or a neighbor or a family member, you'll have the ability to do so. So, without further ado, I'm going to have Beth introduce our panelists today.
Good morning, ladies. We're so glad you all are here. Thank you for agreeing to come and serve on our panel today. So we'll just start right here. This is Miss Judy Jenkins. Miss Judy, if you'll tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My husband and Gary and I have been married a long time, and we have 2 grown children.
Just a little closer.
And 5 grown grandchildren, older than everyone on this panel. My children are. So I have to be. And it's a pleasure to be here, and I've been a member of 9th and O for about 4 years. And I'm a member of the BFG 3 adult group.
All right, next to her, we have Liz Howe. Good morning, Liz. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Like she said, my name's Liz, and I'm married to Adam Howe, and we have 4 kiddos, Noah, Tova, Judah, and Nora, in that order, stair-stepping down. We have been at 9th and O for about 18 years, and we serve with the college ministry here at 9th and O.
Thank you. Okay, next to her is Peyton Davis. Peyton, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Iowa, and I came to Louisville in 2017. I went to Boyce College and studied biblical counseling and graduated this last May, and now I am pursuing ACBC certification.
Which BFG are you in?
I'm in the singles.
Okay. And next to her, we have Miranda Hardy. Miranda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Miranda Hardy. I'm married to Scott Hardy. We have 3 wonderful girls, Hazel, Harlow, and Hope, ages, what are their ages? 7, 5, and 1.5. And we've been at 9th and O for about 12 years now. And we were in BFG YC7, and Scott is the teacher there, and we serve in the nursery when we get a chance.
And you met Scott here.
Oh, yeah, that's a good story. So we both came to Louisville for seminary back in 2011, and we met here in the singles group, and we got married here at this church, and have had all of our kids while being members here. So our family is very centered on this place.
Thank you. All right, and down at the end, got my girl Melanie Cox.
Hi, ladies. Sorry. Hi, ladies. It's good to see you all this afternoon. Is that on? Okay. Hi, ladies. They gave me the one that doesn't work because they know I'll talk the most. No, it's good to see you all this afternoon. Like, seriously, it's so encouraging to see so many faces I know and love in one spot, because that's split service in the mornings. We don't always get to see each other. But my name's Melanie Cox. I've been at 9th and O since May of 2010, so we're coming up on year number 13. I am in the singles group and have been the entire time. I did not church hunt when I came to Louisville. I had a friend who came before me and did that, so I just came where she was, which was here. And then I work in medical billing. I am an account manager for that. I'm in the singles BFG and have been the entire time, and it is a blessing. If you know any of the singles, you know we're a pretty solid group and we have a ton of fun. So, good morning.
Okay, so this is off script, but who was the friend? Who was the friend that was?
Marlo Rosenbarger Head. So she's not here anymore.
Yeah, Marla Head. Yeah,
they're
okay.
in Newtown. So
Well, that's good. We owe Marla for getting us Melanie. That's good. Well, we're glad everybody's here, and we're glad y'all can get to know us all. Rose, let's get the ball rolling.
Get the party started. Okay, so some questions we're going to address to everybody, and you just answer if you feel led. Some will be specific to people, and this first one is actually for each of you to share, so we can kind of get to know a little bit about you. Each of you are at a different stage of life, so where you are currently, share about what your friend circle looks like in your life right now. We'll start with Judy, since we'll go down the line.
Well, I'd like to thank lots of friends, but I have about 3 really close friends. And as we've aged, things happen. One just had a stroke, and so I tried to, email her, text her. When she was in the hospital, take extra food to her because no one likes hospital food, and she was there through rehab. Another friend's mother, my best friend's mother, lives with her, has been very sick, and would try to do some things for her also, because she has taken care of me. And how I got this good friend, we moved in the same street. Well, I hate to say how long, but over 50 years ago. And the nice thing about it is her husband and my husband are best friends also. And that really works well. Another nice thing about having this good friend is that you can tell her anything. And she'll tell me right back if I'm right or if I'm wrong. And so it's nice to have the close friends, but it's also nice to grow new friends, which I've done here at 9th and O.
All right, thanks. Liz?
So y'all probably know I'm kind of a lost child right now. Not completely, but I would say most of my friendships here at the church are compiled of a lot of college students who we rub shoulders with a lot. People we serve with in different areas, like in the college ministry, they're close friends. Or friends of my kids' friends, the parents of my kids' friends that we have become really close to. But I also have these really deep-rooted friendships that are rooted back years and years and years, like 15 years long. One of my dearest friends just moved away like 2 years ago, and we did all of life together. We had kids together. We walked through seasons of our husbands going through the master's and PhD program together. And Kathleen Hanley, most of you know her. If you don't, you should try to find a way to get to know her. But then I also have friends like that have been displaced all over, and we connect via phone and text and encourage one another that way. But honestly, all of them we met here at this church, and they've just gone off. And so there's a lot of those friendships as well. So,
Peyton, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of be speaking from the college perspective, as I lived in the dorms for 5 years. But a lot of my friendships in college life were many of those on my hall. And having the opportunity to be RA, a lot of those friendships came a lot more naturally, which was very sweet to befriend freshmen all the way up to seniors. And I would say the same here at church with the college BFG, that we have the sweet opportunity of 17-year-olds all the way up to sometimes 26-year-olds that we can all rub shoulders together, but also the sweetness of the leaders in that group and just building friendships with them as well.
Miranda?
I would say most of my friendship in the circle that we get a chance to be around really are the people at this church, specifically the deeper rooted friendships through our BFG. The ladies that I get an opportunity to spend time with and really get to know, most of them are in the BFG. There are some like Melanie, which I've known Melanie about 12 years now. We used to be roommates. It was a whole thing. And we still are great friends and spend time together and live life together. But the day-to-day people that I text or the day-to-day people that we like spend time with, they're all from this church for the most part. I mean, I work full-time, by the way, so I have work friends, but I don't like desire to go hang out with work friends when I have extra time. I want to spend time with my BFG ladies and my close friends here. So that's my circle mostly, is just our church. That's our whole life centers around this place, and I'm so thankful for that. And then the women that are here. So
Great. Melanie?
Yep, okay, there we go. Woohoo! Success for Beth. I appreciate that. So a lot of my friend circle looks a lot different now than it did 20 years ago. The Lord really worked in my heart in 2006 to stop shunning friendships with women and start associating with women. So I ran with a crowd of a lot of men and like 2 other girls through college. We had a ton of fun. It was a great time. But really in 2006, God kind of flipped that script and said, no, like I have a place for you. And it's with women, and it's ministering with women and working with women and loving women. And through that change, my circle now is a lot of women, and it should be. I'm single. I shouldn't be running around with just random odd groups of men and doing things like that. Thanks.
Write that down.
Write it down. I may need to be reminded. But that group of women consists of, from people like my friend Laura Ashley, who we met in middle school and have done everything, college, post-college, her doctorate studies, her marriage, her 2 children. We try to see each other quarterly. It's like a business meeting. And then I have other friends like Miranda and Blair Moyes, who in the time of our friendship have gone from being single to having small children. That I spend time with, and we'll talk more about that later because it's a huge part of having a relationship outside of people who live the same life that you do. And then I have a group of friends who are in the singles department, and those women that we do weekly Bible study together and I see every Sunday. And I'm investing in them and they're investing in me, and we're sharing those stories, and it's just been really cool to see that change happen as I reflect over the last 20 years with the Lord and see how He has moved and shifted me into the best place. And that does revolve mostly around 9th and O and the relationships that I build here. And so it's been a blessing.
All right, thanks, Melanie. Thanks, ladies. This next question is going to be open, so if you want to jump on it, that'd be great. Can you share how you widen your circle of friends?
Well, I've joined the Wednesday night group, and the book that we just went through, was a great book, lots of new friends, and so now I'm growing a newer best friend, Carol. And when Carol and I were put together, she has this wonderful, adventurous life, and it was so interesting to hear about. And Carol is here today. And excuse my voice, but Carol has a new granddaughter, and she had to move to Louisville just for a short while to help take care of that granddaughter. And so did her husband. And Carol, the way she interviewed me, she found out that I like to sew. Well, Carol wants to learn to quilt. She already sews. So we've been together several times sewing, and the bad thing is she's going to have to go back home, and we are not going to get to finish our tabletop, so she'll have to do that on her own. But that's a great way to grow best new friends. Another way that I'm growing friends, I would just say friends, would be over in the preschool area. They always need help. It's easy to work over there. And what can I do? Not a lot, but I can check the parents in. And all I have to do is ask their last 4 numbers of their phone number, plug it in, and all this paper shoots out that they start slapping on their children. And most of the time, the children grab it and they're putting it on their back. It's amazing. And they know that their parent has to have this ticket to get the child back. It's a great system. It's easy. Even I can do it. So I would encourage you, if you want to learn younger women, us who are older, if you want to see children, and if you want to be happy on Sunday morning, that is a great place to gain new friends and to learn people.
I think if you're trying to broaden your friend circle, the first thing you have to have is space in your life for more people. You cannot have a packed out schedule and expect to have room for more. And that may mean that on Sunday mornings in BFG, you don't sit with the people you normally sit with, and that's how you make space for those people. You go and meet the women that Jalen mentioned earlier that are on the outskirts, and sit with them that morning. It may mean that when you go out for lunch on Sunday afternoon, you invite someone different to come with you and sit with you and have that meal. It may mean that on a weeknight when you're having tacos, you call someone and go, hey, you guys want to come have tacos with our family? And you do that. But you have to make room, however that takes, because if you don't have space for someone new, they're not going to feel welcome or invited in. And that's not always easy, and I know that. We live very busy lives. We have a lot of things going on, but you have to have the room for somebody before they can join.
Well, let's move on to our next question. How do you all do, this is open to anybody, how do you all develop friendships that go deeper than just the surface? Look, I'm not a chit-chatter. I want to go deeper. I want to talk about deep things, or I want to have a deeper friendship. How do you do that?
One of the ways that I feel like the Lord has taught me through other people in my life is definitely spending time one-on-one, making that time, like Melanie said, moving your schedule, your busy schedule, to make time for someone to come over. There was a period of time a few years back when Scott was working second shift, and I had more time in the evening, so I would have my kids would go down. They were smaller too, so it was easier. And I'd have some kind of come over for dinner, and we would just talk. And the thing I wanted to know was, I want to know their story. I want to know how they came to know the Lord. I want to know where they're coming from. I want to know exactly what's going on in their heart, and have an open time of vulnerability. And to have that, you also have to be willing to give that. So being willing to share your story and be vulnerable with them as well opened up so many doors. I'm thinking of one specific person who's not here anymore, but really changed the way that I look at sharing my story and not being afraid to talk about the times where sin was hard and like working through that and just kind of being open. I feel like the Lord used that to turn my thought process on what a friendship is. Like, is it this shallow? Let's pray for, my work. I don't like my work this week, or let's pray for this. That's the very shallow, level friendship. But when you really get deep and you're open and you're willing to talk about things that are difficult, that is what changed for me in that time. Being able to have that time with people one-on-one, knowing their stories, knowing where they're coming from, so that I can kind of share that with them going forward. So trying to continue to do that, even though our schedule's different now, it's a lot harder, but it's still something that I strive to do. Yeah.
Great.
I think sometimes you just have to get past the trivial immediately. Just dive in and ask the question. And like you said, be willing to be able to share your side of that question as well. And even if we lead busy lives, we can get past the trivial quick. If we just dive in and get past that fear and be willing to share. It's very much that verse, let us consider how to stir one another up. If you go into these conversations with the idea, I want to stir them up to love Jesus more, all of our life should be to honor and glorify God. We should go into everything we do that way. Our friendships are not neglected, cannot be neglected in that way either. That is the purpose of our friendships, is that we arrive at the pearly gates worshiping the Lord and in a better place than we were when we started. So,
yeah. Go ahead,
Just to
Kate.
speak to the college life, you guys are in a unique season. And living in the dorms is such a sweet season. And I remember Liz telling me this in my third year. Soak it up. And that is one season that I will miss, but I know that it is just a season. But I just want to emphasize that there is a danger to comfortability in this season, because you live next door to your best friends. And there can be a comfortability that comes with just knowing the basic facts about one another. But I'd encourage you guys to dig deep, like know each other's testimony, ask how you can pray for one another. And as you continue to have those conversations, your friendships will get deeper than just the surface. But you guys are able to grab meals together. You guys have, distance is probably the biggest things that, like being outside of that season now, and we can all say distance is probably the hardest thing to form deep friendships and have that time. So you guys don't have that factor with living in the dorms, so take advantage of it.
You go ahead and go.
I think off of Peyton's comment, like as an encouragement to everyone who's not living in a dorm and you're not seeing your friends 12 hours a day, it takes calendar time, right? You're not going to meet someone and be their best friend in 6 weeks anymore because you see them 4 hours a week. In college, I was seeing my friends actual 12 hours a day. Like, we would hang out from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m., 4 days a week. That's a lot of hours together. I'm not going to get that kind of time with anyone at this point in my life aside from my bosses at work. And so I have to realize that to invest and have deep relationships now is going to take longer time on the calendar than it would have been in high school, in middle school, in college. And not be discouraged by that, because our time is spread out a little farther now, and we talk about that a lot with the single ladies when they come to us and say, I'm lonely, I don't have friends. It doesn't happen as instantaneously as we've been trained to think it should.
Skip that question, or the first one.
Thank you, ladies. Okay, so this is going to be open to everyone as well. Ninth and O is a growing church, and we often have new ladies who join. What are the things we need to keep at the top of our mind to ensure we are reaching out to them?
Well, for me, being rather new myself, and honestly, remembering your name is very hard for me, so I carry my book around, try to write it down, and hopefully can put the name and the face together again. If I see someone I don't know, I usually ask their name and find out something about them. I try to say, what class do you and your husband go to? Or if you're single, are you at a class? Are you interested? And I would have to say for the couples that I meet, I will say to them, come to my class. And you might as well come one time, because I'm going to continue to ask you until you come. And so finally, 2 of them agreed, you don't have to ask us anymore. We're going to your class. And I think they're happy about it. And I've tried, when I see men or women who are new, I do not know them. Sometimes they've been here a lot longer than I have, but many times I can direct them to other people in a class to get them started. And I feel like that's just something I enjoy doing, and that God says, go make a friend. And if they're not outgoing people, they're here for a reason, and that's to draw closer to God. And your responsibility is help them, because they are searching for something. And that's our job, is to connect them and get them in a class, because I think we all love our church service, but where you really grow is with a group.
We just need to have eyes to see. Like, I think sometimes, like, you just have to look around. I mean, even if you're wrong, you can apologize. I have done that. Like, hi, I don't think I've met you. And they've been like here for like 10 years, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But, yeah. But just, it's not wrong. Like, you haven't met them. Just have eyes to see the people who might be new to the church or be visiting. God has brought them to you, or brought them to our church for a reason. And so we need to be investigating what that reason is, and what are their gifts, and why are they here, where are they at in their life. So just have eyes to see the people around you, and yeah, that's it.
I think some of what Jalen said earlier, that church is not for consumers only. You're here to contribute. And so one of my best friends, Laura, is one of the single leaders as well. And I have to remind myself regularly, Sunday morning is not the time for us to catch up on our friendship. Our friendship catches up during the week. When I'm here on Sunday mornings, I'm here to reach out to new people. I'm here to talk to the ladies in my BFG, make sure they're doing well, interact with women that I don't see or talk to every day, because we try to talk every day, because it's fun. That commute, man, it helps. But just reminding myself that I'm not at church just so I can consume, but I'm here to contribute and be a part of a body is important.
Great. So let's say that you're a woman on the fringe. And when we say that, it's a lot of what Jalen mentioned, a woman who's marginalized, lonely, it kind of, I don't want to say outcast, that seems very strong, but it's a woman that just, she's maybe a quiet, introverted, that sort of thing. You know, how do you forge relationships when there are a lot of ladies around you that have long-term friendship groups and you're trying to find your way? How do you do that?
Well, I would say if you are that person, like, we need you to reach out. It is our responsibility. Relationships are two-sided, and it is our responsibility to be welcoming and to keep our eyes open for those who are marginalized or not connecting. But also, if you don't feel like you're connecting, like, tell someone, whether it's your RA at college, whether it's one of the college group leaders. Like, we do care about you and genuinely do care about you. But we do have busy lives and we can't see everything we wish we could. But also just specifically for college, those who are upperclassmen, like, both sides takes humility, but pursue the freshmen. They need you. They need your wisdom and they need your insight. They need someone who's a little bit older who has been there. But freshmen, pursue the upperclassmen. Like, you need their wisdom, you need their guidance, but you both just need friends. And so it doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 24. Like, pursue those outside of your age group. You're no better than one another, and that shouldn't be a barrier between those friendships forming.
I was just going to say, like, on the outside as a fringe or, like, maybe introverted, sometimes you have to get outside of your comfort zone. And one thing I'd say is, like, put yourself in positions to get to know others. But another thing is, like, I was just brought to mind this week that we need to do the one another's to one another. Like, reach out, love one another, honor other people, live in harmony, build up, admonish, care for, forgive, be patient with, speak truth. Like, do the things that we're called to do in relationships that you do have, and those relationships will build. I think sometimes, a lot of times I think a lot of times the fringe people feel like they don't have anything to contribute, but you do. Like, the Lord says you do. And so start to do the one another things in the church, and those relationships will start to build.
I think show up early, stay late. Like, anytime the doors are open, be here, be 15 minutes early, someone will talk to you. And then stay till the end, help clean up, find places to serve. This is where you get to meet people. It's always easier if you're doing something together than to feel like you need to manufacture a conversation. So if you're the person staying here today and putting the tablecloths in the trash can, like, that's a good opportunity to say, hey, what's your name? Cool. Let's throw these things away. Thanks, man. So, come early, stay late.
Very good, yes. So, well, let's focus on our single girls on the panel. Melanie and Peyton, share with us how you develop friendships with married women in your life.
Well, I think for me, if you can't tell, I'm not an introvert. I pretty much shuck off a whole lot of personal niceties as far as being like, you need to be the person inviting me to your home. I don't really believe that's a true thing. I do a lot of self-inviting. I do a lot of, hey, what are you doing this week? Can I come have supper? And honestly, like, and these are people that I know most of the time. Some of the time I'm like, hey, what are you doing this week? Let's go out and do that or whatever. But when I am in a married family's home, I try to find a way to contribute. If that's do the dishes, fold laundry, help make beds. The last time I was at Miranda's, I couldn't go to the birthday party that was the next day, but I could come the night before and help clean and prepare the house with her. And so, like...
She helped make a really nice balloon arch, y'all.
We did make a balloon arch. It was wild. Never in my life have I done that before. But it's things like that, finding practical ways to contribute, because I know that my married friends who have 3, 4, 5, ever how many kids they got running around, I don't count them anymore, I just show up and play. I know that they don't have a lot of room in their lives, so I step in and try to take things off of their plate if and where possible. And sometimes that means I bring the supper to the house. So just finding ways to jump in like that. When you have friends who have husbands that work second shift, there you go. That's like a free dead giveaway. Like one of my very first BFG leaders, Andy Gregg, her husband worked Monday evenings, and so I went every Monday to their house, and I had dinner with Andy and the kids, and then we folded laundry and put the kids down, and I stayed until 9, and then I went home. Yeah, and maintaining those friendships, you have to be flexible, and you have to know that plans are going to be canceled because somebody woke up sick. You have to know that plans are going to be spur of the moment because all of a sudden we have a free evening. I do sleepovers at Miranda's house. They have a guest room, and so I'll come on Friday night, have adult time Friday evening after the kids go down, have kid time in the morning. I wake up with them, and we spend an hour and a half-ish without mom and dad, and then mom and dad wake up, and then I leave. And it's a good time. I get time with both sides of that, so.
We like it too. It's really nice. Thank you.
Melanie just got several people that are like, she's about to be my friend. I want Melanie as my friend.
Bring it. Mindy Whitley, I see you back there.
Well, I would say a lot of the same things, but especially just recently graduating, you see a lot of your friends getting married as you get older with them. And your married friends still need friends. Like, just because they got married doesn't mean they don't need you anymore. Like, they need you even more. So keep pursuing them, keep reaching out, text them, grab dinner with them, and be in touch with your conversations with them. But those who have kids, like some of the same things that Melanie said, of like inviting yourself over, invite yourself into their life, fold laundry with them, cook dinner with them, help them clean. And it's really just being purposeful to ask what you can do, because there's always something to be done. And in the midst of doing those things, you get to have sweet conversations, but also like be an encouragement to them. Like, yes, in the college, post-college age, can be a season of we need a lot of pouring into, but also you can be a blessing to these ladies. You can ask them how they're doing, how their kids are doing, ask about their lives, and just be an encouragement to them.
I don't have small children, but you all are welcome anytime if you clean.
All right, I like that. I will also add that Shanda Brown and I are friends because I was Leah May's friend first. And when she was after Connor needing adult conversation, I happened to be there.
All right, so let's flip it to Liz and Miranda, who both have children in the home. How do you all forge friendships with anyone, any woman, when you've got children to take care of?
Well, our life is chaos, I will say that. But inviting people into that beautiful, messy chaos is kind of how we have to do life right now. So just this week, I had a friend over last night, and we had all of our kids together, and it was chaos. But you know what? It was beautiful chaos because we were able to spend time just talking about the Word and what the Lord is doing in our lives and our needs, even though we're like also, picking up a crying kid and trying to feed this kid, and you just do things at the same time, and you just invite people into your mess basically, and that's honestly how I've been living ever since since she's been 3. Basically, we've lived in a mess. But just taking the time, and I did not want to have people over to my house when it was messy. I used to have this thing in my head where I need to clean before people come over. They can't see my dirty laundry, they can't see dishes in my sink. I quickly got over that and decided, you know what? I actually am okay with going to somebody else's house and I'm like, oh, they have laundry on their couch. They're real people, this is a person that I can get down with. They're like a real mom, like a real person that I can connect with because they don't have everything perfect. And I need that in my life. I need non-perfect people that also, have the ability to love, and they just, I don't know. So that's kind of my response. Just invite people into your mess when you have time, in the evenings after work. If you're not doing, we do Taekwondo. If we're not doing Taekwondo, like have somebody over or go to somebody else's house or try to figure that out, the best that you can, while also making family time a priority. It's hard. It's hard, but it's worth it. It's very worth it.
So I can speak into this mainly to we work with college students, so we kind of fold the college students into our lives in many ways. We will have them over to our house periodically, but a lot of times, I had a student, Fiona went with me last week to my son's baseball practice. Like, you can ride in the car, we have minutes on the way, we have minutes in the grocery store, and minutes in the car on the way back. So that's a way. Or I'll try to make myself available. I'm on campus on Mondays for work. A lot of times I'll meet with students after I get off work really quickly. If somebody wants to join me for a baseball game, we have hours of work, but I'm gonna be at the ball field most all the spring. So we just have to learn creative ways to fold people into our lives, because in this season, I live in a minivan. And in the minivan is where I do any of my counseling or talking or living life together.
So I'm not supposed to answer, but I'm answering. I'm going to jump in here real quick because I have kids that are all over the place also. And like Liz, I'm in the minivan a lot. And so I spend a lot of time on the phone in the van, a lot of time talking to friends.
It's the only time I actually talk to her.
Yes, that's right, every day. Yeah. But so I do a lot of that. But also the people that are at the games. So I actually got 2 new friends last year. Wasn't looking for friends. I was like, I'm good with friends, Lord, I'm good. But he threw 2 in my life, and one of them actually joined our church, is in my D group on Wednesday nights now, but it's because I met her at a ball game. We started talking at the game, we became friends. So like, those people can be your friends too. Get to know them. They might be lost. All of a sudden they're down here screaming at the ref, or that might be me. But, and just get to know the people where the Lord has placed you now. If you're at the ball field, if you're at the track meet, wherever you are, get to know those people, become friends with them, and see what the Lord's going to do with that also.
It's your question.
My question, sorry. Okay, so social media is, I'm going to Judy, my bad. Judy, this one's for Judy. Judy, and there are several older ladies here, so we're real glad that you're here. So Miss Judy, let's talk to them. As someone who has grown children, how do you work at developing friendships with those younger than you?
Well, I have someone who his name is Caleb. He comes with his mom sometimes on Wednesday night. And when he sneezes, he laughs at himself. And this is just cute. It is just so cute. He gets me tickled. And but the point here is that if you join groups that have younger people in them, then you learn younger people. And that's mainly here at church for me, because I don't have grandchildren that live close. And they're all grown too. They don't even go to school anymore. They're working, and so it's kind of hard for me. But there are a lot of young people here, and I'm learning them and including them into my sphere of friends. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are gonna. Jaylyn, can we have like about 10 more minutes? 5 minutes?
Give us 10, Jay. Give us 10.
Is that a yes?
Jay, we got good questions here. Got good questions.
Okay, we'll try to. Yeah. Let me ask this.
Give us 3 minutes, Jay. 3.
All right, listen, I was going to give you 5, so you're dumbing down in there a little bit.
Okay.
We'll take 5.
We'll take 5. Okay. All right. This question is specifically for Liz and possibly Miranda, because you have young girls, but Liz has teenage girls. So we've seen a lot in the news about the growing challenge of depression, sadness with teen girls. And I think a lot of that is caused by lack of friendships. Dr. Carl Trueman a theologian, was interviewing a principal recently and asked him, why do you think middle school girls are resorting to homosexuality? And the principal said, because they don't know how to make friends. So knowing that this is sort of a trending issue, how are you preparing your girls to develop rich friendships so that they will be ready as they grow into teenage girls or currently are teenage girls?
So I'm still learning this. So I would say that Tova and I talk a lot. That's my oldest daughter. And we are constantly talking about what it means to be a friend. She has a lot of great friendships in this church. And so we talk about, like, are you loving at all times? Are you aware of when gossip is happening to stop that? Are you aware of other people besides your little friend group? Like, are you aware of the other people in your sphere of circle? So we are talking about those things. We limit social media a tremendous amount. The only social media that Tova has is Pinterest. And even that, we are talking all the time, because you'll start to see, like, ideals in her life of what she thinks a woman should look like or should do or should perform. And so we have to be conversing about that all the time, so that she's not taking on what the world says she should be, but that she sees true beauty as the inner person in the heart that the Lord has for her. Also, I've been very purposeful to be a yes mom when it comes to good friendships. Like, if a group of girls are getting together and I'm trying my best to say yes, because I want to foster those friendships. And then after she's with them, we talk. Like, how was your interaction with everybody? There's always a few little troubled spots, so we talk through those troubled spots and say, did you have eyes to see this person well today? Are you stepping out to ask and to learn about this person who maybe you don't connect with greatly? So we're talking about those things. And we're constantly, I'm discipling her too. And so, just investing in her as a child of the King, so that her identity is strong, so that she can interact with other people well. I think that's all I have. But there is a difference between casual friendships and those intimate, godly friendships. And just to recognize, you are going to be sharing the gospel with certain friendships. There are missional friendships, but there is a difference. You're not going to have that deep, intimate friendship with everybody. So understanding that too.
I would like to say my daughter-in-law does a great job with her 3 girls. Like I said, they are grown, but she always took time. You call me if you have a need. I am never too busy that I can't come to your rescue. Use me as your excuse if you find that you're getting in trouble or that you don't want to be with someone. You call me and I will help you. And she's been so open that they can go to her for anything. And I think parents and grandparents need to be there for your children and encourage them.
Okay, so I'm jumping in on this one too real quick. Real quick, Jay. So my daughters are 26 and 13. And for those of you that are in this stage where you have teenage daughters or daughters that are approaching, just know there will be girl drama. There will be. And you will get through it, okay? You will get to the other side. But it's going to happen, and you want to help them as they go through it. It's not easy. Literally just last week, had a conversation with my 13-year-old because there's a girl in our youth group that's feeling left out. So I purposely have told her, she doesn't know everything. Why don't you reach out to her? So she did. Okay, Mom said reach out to her. Why don't you come with me? We're going to get together next Sunday. The whole youth group's together. Why don't you come? Little girl hadn't been in youth group for 3 weeks. She was up there last Sunday. You've got to help your daughters. If they're struggling, if they think, I've got all the friends in the world, I don't need any more, help them. Help them look for people. Help them see the ones who are in the corner. Because there's some in the corner. There's some that feel left out. You've got to help them. Keep them here. They've got to be here. If they stay home, that's not going to help them make friends. That's only going to broaden the the feeling of left out more. Okay, so make them understand. I'll tell you one rule I made, and you can choose if you want this to be your rule or not, but Kelsey was never allowed to have one friend over to spend the night. She either had to have, she could have one friend, she couldn't have two. Mom, can I invite these two girls? No, because it never failed. Those two girls teamed up and Kelsey came upstairs crying because she was left out. So here's what happens. You invite one friend over, you invite three, and we're having a slumber party. Because that way you got two together. That's the way girls work better. Do I have time to go to the next one?
Yes. Well, let me say something. We're just really, we're being very rebellious. This is not the way you honor your leader.
Jay,
Sorry.
we love you.
Just. We're co-leaders. Someone who grew up here at 9th and O in the youth group, I will also share. I was not the popular girl at all. I was friends with the popular girls because my dad was a deacon, and deacon kids always hung together when I grew up here. And I befriended a girl, her name was Hope. Nobody liked her. She was raised by a single mom, and back in the 70s and 80s, that's telling my age. Back then, that was kind of looked down upon. And so I became her friend. And because of that, I was sort of left out. But I will say, whether you are a teen girl, whether you are a mom here today of teen girls, it is worth it. It is worth it. Because you know what? I grew up, we all went our separate ways. Big deal that I wasn't in the popular group. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter now. And so, but it taught me that we can love everybody. And I think that's what we need to do. And one other thing I will say, if you have girls, be willing as they get into that older youth age, college age, seek out a godly woman that they can go and talk to that's not you. I've had a lot of girls that have come to me and the mom trusts me, as well as I will spend time with them, and they'll open up to another godly woman, maybe quicker, that can give them the solid counsel you would give them, but because they don't feel comfortable telling mom those things, they're getting that motherly advice from somebody else. All right.
That's such a good answer. Ashley Barrett was Kelsey's godly woman. Oh, she talked about me like a dog, but Ashley just listened. It's okay though. Okay, so here we go. Probably one of our last. Everything's fine. It is. Turned out wonderful. So social media. So, Liz said that about the girls, but social media just for us in general. For me personally, I work on that. Dr. Cook was on my toes a few weeks ago talking about it, and I had to put it down and not be on it as much. But you look at that. Social media has created this world of friends and likes and lots of comparisons that impact the way we view ourselves. This is open for all you ladies. What are some pros and cons of social media in regards to building actual solid friendships?
Honestly, in college, that was a huge hindrance to me. I personally faced a lot of comparison and wanted all the likes, and I wanted to know everything. And social media gives you the perception that you can know anything about anyone at any time, but we're not God. And I think it just shows who your true friends are outside of social media, those you're connecting with, and that true friendships are more than just posting your picture perfect day. It's crying together, those ugly tears. It's bearing one another's burdens. It's confessing and confronting sin. So true friendships are a lot deeper than those picture perfect social media posts.
I don't do social media. Like, I'm on Pinterest, and I have a Facebook account. And I think the last time I posted on that was probably something about Father's Day. And I don't do it because I'm a person who will get easily, this will become my world. Because I like being popular, I like talking and being heard, I like feeling like I'm being heard, and that's gonna give me that false sense of belonging that will fill a hole in my life that should be coming from the body of Christ and is filled by Christ. And so, I don't do it because very quickly it will be an idol. And I know that about myself. I do think there are some pros in it's good, fast communication with a large group of people. We utilize group me for stuff with the singles group, and I don't know, it's not social media, but it's like not text messaging either. It's a weird, I don't like it, but it gets the job done. And I think there are some pros for that, like communicating large group wise, but as far as looking for individual friendships or finding validation there, it is a dangerous, dangerous hole that I cannot even begin to play in. So, there you go.
Has anybody ever read the book You Are Special by Max Lucado? Okay, if you haven't, you should read it. It's a children's book. But basically, there's this little guy named Punchinello who, like, they go around, the Wemmicks go around and give stars and give dots, and the dots are to the people who are not worthy, and the stars are for the people who are great. And Punchinello always got dots until he met this girl named Lucia, and she didn't have stars or dots. But she said that she doesn't have star or dots because she goes to her maker and she spends time with him, and the stars and the dots don't stick. And so it's a picture, though, like of he had a tangible relationship with a person who pointed him towards Christ. And social media is like this faux relationship that's not really real life. Like, it's a one-sided thing. Like, it's only one side. You're knowing a little bit about that person, and it's really kind of like the most beautiful part of every person's day that you're knowing about, and that you're not being known. And so there's just so much danger in that, because you start to have this idea that, like, that you have to be just like that person, or that person has it all together. But we need relationships, real people, to point us towards our Maker, and that our identity is in Christ, and that's where our value and worth is. So I would say there's far more dangers to social media than the positives, and we should probably limit it as much as possible. And if you can't you need to cut your hand off. Just get rid of it. If you can't limit it, and it becomes so much a part of your life, you need to pluck your eye out, cut your hand off. You need to take drastic measures.
Great. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I think we could, yes.